Hi, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Let's do a quick market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. We had a big sell-off today, especially this morning with a VIX spike ultimately up to the 40-50 area, which is what I was expecting with the wedge breakout. If you've listened to me for weeks, I said if that wedge in the VIX broke out, we would hit 40-50, go down about 4 to 5%. That would be a typical target. It just happened so quickly. I think we have to be concerned of a couple things out there. I did some chat GPT research on the VIX, and so a couple interesting things that I learned. 1987 crash, it back calculated the VIX to be about 85 during that crash. And I asked what was the VIX, what did the VIX close at the day before, back calculation, since the VIX didn't exist the day before that big super crash. The VIX was actually closed in the 30s, where we are now. So we're nowhere out of the woods. I'm not saying the market is going to have a 1987 style meltdown tomorrow, but there is an analog that where something like this had happened, where the VIX had touched 56 and closed at 30, again back calculated by ChatGPT the day before that Black Monday on that Friday, and then Black Monday hit and we're down 20%. So we'll go through the charts and I'll make the bearish case and then show some bullish signals as well, and you'll get to decide what you want to do and do what's best for you. Dow Jones to me looks incomplete. I don't think this is complete, guys. You have this, kind of some kind of four. You have this consolidation, this trend line. It almost looks like we did a back test of that, and now we're just ready to kind of puke down. I don't really, again, let's look at, you look at this and you go, okay, one, two, if that's three, four, that's so small. You did erase divergence. So it's kind of a mess here. I can label it a lot of ways, but actually this is probably the best way to label it for right now. So I'll just leave it at that. I think the Dow Jones isn't complete. Is it waiting for big earnings? I think Caterpillar earnings this week. I don't know. Just looks like it wants to come here, right here. So this doesn't look like we capitulated. The Dow doesn't. Now the SPY, it was pretty healthy capitulation. It did hit the initial buy area, but the problem I have is, again, look at this nice little healthy bounce and fail. You don't have that. Now I think we are forming that bounce, as you can see, maybe with the futures. So it actually could be finished now, but we could also push higher to 528, 530, and then get a rejection down for the final push lower to 480, where I think you could get either 4 or a much more significant multi-week rally consolidation. I think this is somewhat dangerous here to be bottom fishing, even though it feels so good, right? Because we just got to the target. But look, guys, you haven't erased divergence, and we've seen this time and time on my channel where that's a trap. How about the 4 hour? 4 hour looks okay, but we're not even oversold, even with all that selling. The daily, it would be nice to take that out, and we haven't. So I just think there's more downside in the SPY. I think it's missing a swing. And I believe the 45-minute divergence has room to fall with the 4 hour and the daily. So I think it supports another push down no matter what happens here in X. The triple Qs is kind of the same thing here, where you have an ABC with a connector. So we don't have a connector. I know people are forcing, oh, this is the connector, because they want it to be done. They want to buy so bad. Everyone wants to buy. It's like, God, please go back up. And it's probably not going to, guys, because I think we're in the connector. Now, this could still surge up to 451, and this could present another short opportunity. Get your shorts, get your SQQQ ready if we want to do this pump. But it actually could be finished. We just don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. We are looking for a push down. This target has already been hit, so it's no longer valid. The next target would be 389 for me. Let's see our horizontal resistance. right there. That would backtest this kind of this breakout here. So yeah, I bet we would find some support, but it could also create uncontrollable selling as we break back below the high of 2021, and it would be basically a failed breakout, and it actually could create uncontrollable selling all the way down to the next major horizontal support, which really isn't maybe until you get to 356. So if technology does make this breakdown, you could be catching a massive fallen knife here. Just understand the danger. What you're hoping for is you're back testing and then you wick back up in the 415 on the back test. That's what you're hoping for. But if you can close down underneath of this level, it's probably going to have another drop because just the structure of it. So I do think we're still in B. We're missing a swing, and there's a lot of tech stocks that aren't finished yet. So that means tech probably is going lower, guys. It just is. But I know everyone is so hopeful it's done, but it's not probably. IWM looks like to me a nice healthy impulse down here. We did erase divergence, so I could call a more aggressive like 1-2-1-2 count, but let's be conservative and not be so bearish. If we do want to take another wave up, then we're looking at a short opportunity at 209, 208, which would be a back test of this trend line, major trend line here. This big line will be a back test, and we would expect a failure with that if that happens. So get your shorts ready in the Russell. And again, some people are like, well, that's an A, B, C flat, and there's a big 4 here. I have a lot of problems with that. Again, the weekly cycle obviously broke, right? We broke the whole thing. Let's look at the monthly cycle. Here, the monthly cycle, again, looks like we just broke from this low. Right there, we broke down. So don't talk yourself into the Russell going higher. Look at all my evidence is pointed to more downside. Okay, so those are the indices. We can scan the futures real quick. What are the futures up to? Because maybe they'll give us a clue. Again, if the Dow wants to come up to this area here in a 3-wave move, it's possibly where 2 can fail, just to give you an idea. And this does look like a 1-2-1-2 setup. Again, I'm looking for this big wedge. We've already broke out, and I'm looking either for a back test of this wedge and then a rejection. That's the key. Now, if the bulls could get back inside of it, then perhaps their flat scenario will play out. But I don't like buying it. It looks incomplete to me. It just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. Let's take a look here. Just erase this divergence between these two peaks. Would have liked to see a little more of that, a little bit here. Okay, so I'm calling a more aggressive 1-2-1-2 versus a 1-2-3-4 in the Dow. I mean, you could label it as a 3 and a 4 if you want to be more conservative on the Dow futures here. That's a 1-2-3-4, and we get 5, and we come back up and then go down. But I'm just going to label it like this. Technology did look like we broke this high, so it does look like it wants to come higher. Unless it's a triple correction, a WXYXZ, and we don't have divergence at these peaks, so it's a triple, so don't get too excited. It may not make it up here. If it's a triple, I'll give you kind of the normal target that we would see right in this area. Looks like there's a little gap there, right here, and it could be, we'll have to wait and see. There, the ES, you would think it would probably do the same thing. Now this would be a more 3-swing move up. We'll see if that happens, or does that hold? I don't know. The Russell, to me, we did break this high. It looks like it wants to take 3 swings up, so we're looking for a little more upside in the Russell here. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Hang Seng did hit the buy area, but again, the swings are missing. Again, you have a bounce and a failure. I'm sorry, in C you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, And here you look like you have 1, 2, 1, 2 here. That could have been the low, but we already explained why that wasn't on our live stream. So it looks like investors just bought the dip too early again. And this looks like either it's part of 2 or it's another 1, 2. So I would expect it to go lower. This does looks like an incomplete impulse because you have a full cycle, a correction, and then you broke the high. It looks like it's going to go lower. Nikkei, are we out of the woods yet? Don't think so. The 45-minute actually has bullish divergence between these two peaks. This is not a 3. This is not 1, 2, 3. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 1, 2, 1, 2. So it looks like to me the Nikkei will have more downside come in. And believe it or not, we haven't even seen wave 3, which will be more severe than we've even seen in these moves. It'll be the most should be the biggest drop, and we're right on the edge of a massive trend line, which should conclusively put to doubt there is no more 4 wave. It's going down. With the ship is sinking. So I believe, based on that divergence, is a clue in that 45-minute divergence that this is a bull trap, no matter what happens in this too. And again, it could come back up. We could do a lot of things here. But for right now, we'll just kind of watch it tonight and see what happens. I know investors are just so happy for the relief rally. If you look at this too, it had like a couple, 3 swings. This could actually be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could put the 1 there and an A, B, C, and we come a little bit higher. So that could be the count, or we could get a more classic 3-swing move like we did here. The key is we want this peak to stay below that peak, which I think it will do that no matter what happens. Bitcoin did break down, but again, investors bought the dip too soon, didn't let the correction finish, and then we'll pay the price for doing that. I think we have the 5 waves down. We're resetting the cycle in B. Again, if you look at the overall count, look at W. You have all these waves. Here you just have the first wave down. We need Y. We have a bounce. This bounce should fail. And then I'm still thinking 42, 40,000, but we may have trapped enough people here where we'll break through that level. So don't be surprised if 42 doesn't hold 42,000. Okay. When you look at the overall correction, we never took the divergence out here. So it shows that we have not got capitulation. Investors bought the dip too soon, and the market will probably punish them, even on the daily. Look at that. So my guess is Bitcoin is going lower whenever this ends. And this could come up to 59. It could even come up to 60, 61 even. But I do think this will fail at some point for C. Oil should be finding a resistance here. We are looking for reversal at 75. That's the idea. This looks like a beautiful impulse that has a connector that needs to finish this out over here. Oil has shown you we have not capitulated yet. We're making lower lows. We need more. So that's probably more risk off in the market. Silver broke the key pivot, so we're going to start labeling it bearish. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 for now, and we'll look for 5 and then a bigger rally. Or this could be a super bearish 1, 2, 1, 2. Then dollar index should be pushing back in 5, and then we'll finish a big impulse. And if this was dollar weakness and the market went down, my God, what's going to happen when the dollar strengthens? Don't know, but this force should be coming soon. The yields should be continuing lower after this brief relief rally. We could actually see the yields go to 3914 for another push lower here. And that's probably where we're going. So just kind of keep that in mind. The VIX didn't make it to the buy area. I wanted it to take another long. It got kind of short-circuited there. So we'll see. This is important low for the VIX, 3069. Then UVIX, kind of the same thing. We never got to the low we wanted to. If UVIX could come back down tomorrow, could be a buy in this gap as this gap fills. Okay, just showing some setups in the VIX. You can do the same thing on that chart. So those are the indices. Let's go to the big tech stocks. Apple shocked investors with Warren Buffett selling. Again, as you can see, a nice, beautiful, move down here, and then we only have one, so we need another push lower. I'm looking for 184 now. That's the push. This again doesn't have enough swings. Like look at the symmetry's off. Let's just check divergences as well, and you have an erased divergence on the shorter time frame, so it's probably going lower. Amazon is broke down here. It looks like we have a 1-2, and then it looks like we have some other 1-2, and then here could be even another 1-2. It looks like Amazon wants to puke lower. This could also be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if we can go higher. I'm just showing a more bearish count for now. Here we'll because see how big this cycle reset was. I think this is one wave. I don't think this is one wave. I think it's one, and then this is part of the same cycle. And maybe it's two, like that comes up. We'll have to wait and see. Google, I believe, broke down, and we already saw that coming in a 1-2, 1-2. We should be breaking down now. And Google breaking this trend line. How's Facebook doing? Facebook also looks like you have a big connector. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Again, I'm just looking at the swings. I'm trying to be unbiased. Now, there is a chance we're still in the connector wave, so that is still possible. So this one isn't as reliable as the others. We did break down, so Netflix shows there's more downside needed in the market. You have a shallow connector. This needs to go lower. So the new buy area target on Netflix would be 564, 544. So I'd be looking for a bounce there. Tesla did break down, almost tagged the area we had, but as you can see, we're missing a swing, so I expect it to go lower no matter what happens here. AMD did not get to our buy area. It's showing a 1-2, 1-2 setup, so this is also a major warning sign the market's going lower. How about Microsoft? Microsoft, the same thing. It hasn't made its target. Market should go lower. Nvidia also needs to go lower. It has not met its target. Let me show you guys Nvidia's target real quick. $80.71. So as you can see, a lot of stocks are not at its target. Therefore, I think the market has more downside no matter what happens and any kind of relief rally that exists. So that's where I've got right now. So I still think caution is needed. I think, to me, when I look at the overall market, the Dow hasn't really given up enough capitulation. Like the Dow has more room to run into this area or even lower down to this area. And the SPY did hit a swing, a Fibonacci swing area where we did get a bounce, but I believe this is missing a swing. It needs to go lower, I think, again. And we have this divergence that needs to be erased there. And then the triple Qs, the same thing, erase that divergence. This bounce should fail. And then I do think that you're at risk of breaking this neckline. And if you do, you'll breach it, and either you're going to come into here and wick right back up, and the correction could be done for a while. And of course, the bulls would hope for new all-time highs. But if you get stuck down here and close, you may see uncontrollable selling like you've never seen before in the NASDAQ. IWM, again, looking for this is topped in X, and we should just grind lower in a series of impulses. But this looks like it's finished here, so maybe you get a pump in two. Maybe it even lasts a little bit longer. Of course, this is the most bearish scenario, but this is almost like a back test type thing. TQQ almost hit the area, but it quite didn't. It's missing a swing down, so this is also a sign that it's not over. So guys, that's where I've got right now. Good luck trading. I just see a lot of bulls trying to, justify a finish of a correction. Trying to, kind of ignore their own rules and systems out there, as well as fundamental investors really still complacent today. Guys, a lot of complacency on TV. There was not really a lot of fear at all given what just happened. The VIX spiked like it was like one of the biggest spikes, quickest that in the history of the VIX. That's what you typically will start to hear on the grand super cycle. And just remember that you know, ChatGPT may not let you know, maybe it's wrong, but it said the VIX closed the day before, you know, Black Monday in the mid 30s, right where we closed today, and then it would have been in the 80s with the 20% down. Now I said that I'm not saying that tomorrow will be that, but I'm just saying I just show it there as it's just, hey, it's just kind of interesting, you know, thing to think about as you plan your trades accordingly. That history, you know, may not repeat, but it kind of rhymes. And I do say that once you got to 40 and 50, then the next level is the 70, 80 circuit breaker level. I don't think that would get you a 20% down day, but that would get you like definitely 8 to 10%, I think. And then after that would be, I believe, over 100 VIX, which would then probably get you the 20% market closed for the session day. And that's that situation. Like I said, it doesn't look like to me the swings are in. I think we are bouncing in these connectors, and you're just going to have to watch how they develop and decide to stick your neck out one way or the other, or you could just sit on the sidelines and wait patiently for more confirmation that there's a trade to take. Good luck, guys, and I'll talk to you later.